It's the Custard TV podcast. The home is thecustardtv.com. The podcast is this one. I'm Luke, editor and runner of the aforementioned website. Gary is literally living inside a packet of hula hoops at the moment.
Well, no, I'm eating a packet of hula hoops, but I shall put them down
to
for
us
the duration.
it feels like we're living in them. It does sound
If I get
much
bored
like...
at any point, I might return to the hula hoops if you two bore me.
Is it a big, grab bag type?
No, it's just they're just big hoops, but it's only a small bag.
Favourite flavour of crisps, Gary?
I would say cheese and onion on a regular basis.
What sort? McCoy's, Walker's,
no,
Pringles?
Walker's cheese and onion are pretty good. Well, I didn't realise you included Pringles because then it's barbecue. It's smoky barbecue.
I'm quite partial to a kettle chip myself.
Oh,
right. That's a whole different genre. Yes, and I had forgotten all about the beauty of kettleness. I'm going to put the kettle on my map.
Luke.
Hey everybody, here's our star.
Gary.
I'd never heard of him before today.
And Matt.
He's a professional.
Talking telly.
Try it, just for 1 week. Just try the program for 1 week.
This is the Custard TV podcast.
Let's catch up on all the Bake Off It's not really new. Why is it getting so much coverage?
I was thinking this when I saw the front page of one of the papers and it's all...
Oh.
Why is it getting so much...
Bake Off?
I'm surprised that some doppy MP hasn't called an early day motion to discuss it.
I wonder if the person who does all the dishes on the Bake Off is moving to Channel 4.
Well, no, they're still on Who Does the Dishes on ITV.
They'll need someone good to do the washing up. I mean, that must take a while.
Yeah, well, there is only one person that does the washing up.
Is there really?
Yeah,
that poor person.
Yeah.
Or that lucky person, I just lick the plates clean.
The bowl.
I often wonder, they must just sit there and eat all the other cakes.
The crew.
Yeah.
I remember reading this article on Behind the Bake Off or something like this, and the crew...
It's like behind the music.
Get to finish off everything, and so they like when they get to where they make savoury stuff, because it's all, most of it is sweet. Yeah. So whenever they get a savoury challenge, it's like, yes, Yorkshire pudding's all round.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it? I know, alright, it's a popular show. It does massively in the ratings, but Mr. and Mrs. Normal don't care about TV ratings. They don't even care if it's popular.
No, but Mr. and Mrs. Normal are big fans of this show.
Can I offer a suggestion here that, there's so many, horrible things going on in the world that when something about sort of a genteel bake-off show, when there's sort of news about this as absurd as it is, we all get in a tizzy about this because it's something we can sort of deal with. We don't have to think about what's going on in other countries. This is just something trivial.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Also, if you're playing podcast bingo and you've got Matt's card and it says Tizzy on it, you can now cross that off the list.
The big news of the week is that Mary Berry has feigned loyalty to the BBC, and Paul Hollywood.
I just think it's less of a commute for her than Channel 4.
Paul Hollywood has followed the bread. Hello?
The dough. Surely the dough.
Well, no, bread.
Better.
No, bread is better.
Has it tarnished this series, or has it made it better?
I have to say, I found this last episode a bit dull.
So did I.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I don't think there's a great batch of bakers.
No, I agree.
I think you've got... Because someone like Selassie, although I like him as a character, he's coasting on average. And yet he's never even in the bottom three.
There's not that many characters. Like Val, I kept around for so long because she was one of the big characters. Her and Selassie, that's about it. None of the others are, like Candice with a lipstick, but... Rav's not much of a character.
No.
What's Tom's not much of a character.
So we've kind of stepped over our own point by wondering why everybody's bothered about the Bake Off, and then talking about the Bake Off for 8 minutes.
Well, I mean,
okay.
Now you've got this Channel 4 programme, which is Paul Hollywood and loads of new people. And
it's going to be longer, apparently.
As you said, are they going to do it like, the 3 challenges? And now there's this news that the BBC are going to try and do something that really...
I would suggest that if the BBC are in any way clever, they would try and do something with Mel, Sue and Mary. However
that's a great
they decide
title.
to do it.
That is a great title already. I love the title that you've just come up with.
Mel, Sue and Mary.
I'll ring Love Productions in the morning.
Not Melsa in the Berry. There's a suggestion that maybe Nigella Lawson will be with Paul Hollywood.
Oh no!
But she's not a baker in that sense. I know she cooks.
Neither's Mary Berry, really. She's
she's
an all-round cook. She is, though, Gary.
Yeah, but apparently she... And I checked on Twitter, she wrote books on baking specifically.
She wrote books on everything, though.
Did
you not watch the Mary Berry story when that was on?
I did not.
I did.
No. Okay, but people on Twitter have told me she was... But anyway, I agree. And another name's been buzzing around is Delia Smith.
If Nigella Lawson and Paul Hollywood there would be like, oh, is there something going on? They would... Whereas it's like an older woman and it's sort of, a middle-aged guy. There's sort of almost like a sort of motherly chemistry.
It's going to be like watching The Jungle without Ant and Dec. It's not going to be the same without Melons.
I would agree with that. That's a good analogy, actually, Gary.
We have at least 3 more years of both Gary's Britain's Got Talent and The X Factor. Kevin Lygo, not exactly breaking moulds yet at ITV.
Or contracts, yeah.
I think I would... Well, last time this was announced, a 3-year contract, Gary's gone back into his Hulu.
No, I just moved them. So.
Okay.
I said that Britain's Got Talent was the one that I think they were sticking it around for, but even Britain's Got Talent now has lost that mojo.
It lost its charm.
But I think when you get into the 10th, 11th series of things, you're going to run out of acts because it's just, and you've seen it all before. It's hard to make.
Hence all the sort of Eastern European and Russian.
And I think even as we just said with Bake Off now, we're coming into the 7th series. They've had characters, and it's hard to get back to when you've got the characters, when you've had that mixture. It's hard to come back every year. To me, X Factor peaked in about sort of 2010 when you had One Direction and Cher Lloyd and that series. That was sort of the peak of it, and then it sort of dropped off after that.
But I mean, everything you're saying is right. But then I still really enjoyed last year's Apprentice. And I hope to enjoy this.
But there was a bit of a dip with The Apprentice, wasn't there?
Oh, there was, yeah.
There's always dips on The Apprentice. That's what I like about it.
I mean, they've made changes to the X Factor over the year. The chair challenge in front of a crowd, in front of just the judges. They've made changes, and I think you're right. It's now looking very long in the tooth. I don't know. The thing about Britain's Got Talent, which I suppose still has that hook, is it's linked with the Royal Variety Performance. And it's got that thing where it runs for several nights over a course of a couple of weeks, doesn't it? It
still doesn't outstay its welcome on the X Factor. No. Do you think it's a case of, we want Britain's Got Talent, or you're going to have to take the X Factor too?
I would reckon so. And Victoria, the ITV Sunday night drama, which so far has beaten Poldark every time, is back for a second series. Is that the X Factor lead-in? Maybe there is more power.
Although, as well, I was reading that Rufus Sewell has now left the series, and apparently people off.
I also think, don't forget, with the fact that the iPlayer is better than the ITV Hub, people can watch Poldark later, they feel.
But everybody says, I don't watch it if it's got adverts. But if they are watching Victoria Live, presumably, to get the ratings overnight, and they are watching the adverts, so Yabu sucks to you advert people, because people do still watch the adverts.
Do you think it was the fact that Victoria had a week's lead-in? They did the first...
had 2 episodes, didn't it?
Yeah, bank holiday, that double bank holiday one.
So, in a change to what we normally do, we're actually going to go west, and I'm not going to let Gary speak and then edit it all out in post-production of the podcast. So,
yeah, great.
This week you will hear Gary Goes West.
The new Game of Thrones, well, certainly that's what it's being called, Westworld, a remake of or a television series based on the film in the 80s, might have been in the late 70s, is going to come to Sky Atlantic on October 4th. This is one of those...
Westworld in it?
I don't know. I don't think he is.
We saw a preview of this, if I remember correctly, Luke, when we saw the HBO man at Edinburgh.
Probably we did. I didn't see Tim Westworld in it now, I think.
No.
Anthony Hopkins, though.
Anthony Hopkins, yes.
The poor man's Tim Westwood.
very much.
I would like
very much of the same ilk. Now on to the Emmy winners. Outstanding comedy series was Veep. I believe both me and Matt had that one down. Outstanding drama, Game of Thrones. Again, I think I had that. Outstanding variety talk series was Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which I think is the best one of the bunch. Outstanding limited series, The People versus O.J. Simpson. I think I had that.
The article about there being 4 lesbians winning awards this year. It was a sort of a big.
Well, they're all actresses in a way. Oh, sorry, lesbian, not thespian. Sorry.
Sarah Paulson, who won for playing Marcia Clark on The People vs. O.J. Simpson, which we were all fans of, weren't we? I know we were. And also Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live, and I believe a couple of the people behind Transparent as well.
I wondered if you were outing Tatiana Maslany as well.
No. Suddenly, suddenly it's let's celebrate all these people, but also like these youngsters, Rami Malek and what's her name, Tatiana.
Yeah, Maslany.
They almost seem like outside bets. All from Black Sun, like BBC America, isn't it? And I mean, the USA Network isn't a big deal, is it? In terms of
it's had its hits, but no,
not as big as it's not one of the big 3 or 4.
It's not FX or AMC.
Yeah,
no, or HBO.
It's sort of they're sort of niche shows, aren't they? So it's interesting. They've done quite well on these. But the big winner was.
The Emmys does this annoying thing where, like you said, it'll congratulate people at the very end. Like John Hamm didn't get his Emmy till the very last series.
Amy Poehler never got one, did she?
Yeah. Amy Poehler never got one for Parks and Rec, which is an absolute.
But the big story as well was Game of Thrones winning
several awards.
It was the record that they've won the most overall Emmys now.
Yeah, they've now won more Emmys collectively than any other TV
I've asked
series,
you this before, and Gary will knock me down, so I'm asking this purely to Matt.
There's a good chance he'll do that anyway, most times.
Well, yeah, there is, but I'm just preempting it. Is Game of Thrones, should it be in the drama category? Should it be in its own category of some description?
I think so, because even though it's got that setting of the medieval fantasy setting, it still is at its heart a drama. It's still got those themes of betrayal and family, Downton Abbey.
I mean, there are no dragons in Downton Abbey unless you count Maggie Smith.
Okay,
I was just about to make that joke.
Like Mr. Robot, that's technology and things like 24. That was an action thing. It wasn't necessarily a drama people talking. Okay. There are different genres of drama. Yeah. I mean, the comedy one is the sort of more interesting one when they used to have Nurse Jackie and Desperate Housewives and things like that.
Where they couldn't quite work out where the balance.
Can I just mention as well the Sherlock win and the fact that I don't know if you saw this, Amanda Abingdon had her purse stolen. Well,
really?
Yeah, they went up to collect the award and then did some press, and she got back to her seat and her purse was stolen. Bloody American.
Thieves, yeah.
This Is Us, which is a new NBC drama, is coming to Channel 4 in the autumn. And I watched this pilot yesterday. I really liked it. I can't tell you why I liked it because it will spoil it. But it's really clever.
Talking about shows that were just on in America, it was on this week, Designated Survivor. Now, for those who don't know what that is, that whenever the American have their State of the Union, which is like that opening of Parliament, one member of the cabinet has to stay behind so that if the government building is for some reason blown up, then there's somebody left to run the government.
I like that.
This has happened in the West Wing where they've gone through this process, but they didn't.
If you need new bingo cards, you need to send
I've started a new game. But basically, they've talked about this, but of course now they've actually done a whole series based around what would happen. It stars Kiefer Sutherland, and it's very difficult to not see him as Jack Bauer, even though he's quite a different character, because he's in a government area. It's quite difficult.
But even in that thing, what was that called? Touch.
Yes.
Yeah. It was hard not to see him as Jack Bauer, and he wasn't in a government setting there, was he?
Is it Natasha McElhone, his wife?
Yeah.
Well there done. You are. Look at that.
The Truman Show.
And Maggie Q from Stalker is very good. Is she from Sesame Street? And she's very good. She plays an FBI agent.
I'm very proud of that. Let's just let that settle in.
Well, Gary, do you want to say that in this, he becomes the president? This has one of Luke's favourite things that starts with the big event where like what do they call it? I was going to say the House of Commons. What's it called?
It's the government. It's the Capitol building.
Capitol building is blowing up.
Yeah.
And we see this. We see Kiefer and Natasha McElhone looking at it, and then flashes to 10 hours earlier.
Yeah.
But particularly on this,